appreciate you giving me the time and day here. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
man. Thank you.
rare, especially nowadays, to have like a civil debate between two people without like emotions getting involved. So that's something I appreciate you for. No, just felt like I need to say that.
Yeah, I'm just here to listen to your perspective as well. I like to hear other people's points of views. I don't know if you saw the video I posted because I guess that was what you wanted to talk about the Iranian deal with the $300 billion.
Yeah, I did watch your video, and that was something I wanted to talk about. I felt like one word you kept using a lot in that video was investing. I just it's hard for me to grasp like how is it that we are in a 47-year war with this nation and now we are investing hundreds of billions of dollars into these people.
Did you watch the video though? Because we're not investing hundreds of billions of dollars into them. We'd basically be investing with their money into their country, and the rest of the money would come from the Arab nations and also U.S. Private investment sector.
Right, but well, they're frozen assets, aka the frozen money that are in US bank accounts is our money. That's why, you know, they don't have control of it and we do. Giving that back to them, to the people who have killed US soldiers, have caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage to our infrastructure, has gone to ruin our relationships with other Middle Eastern countries. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know. That was my biggest gripe.
Well, it's none of our money, and most of the money where it's actually coming from is mostly Middle Eastern countries. So I don't know why any country would be mad about it when it's like almost every country in the Middle East, except the really poor ones that are giving money. What do you mean invest so much money in what countries? So we're getting our money's worth. Is that an issue? Is that bad?
Nations, allies, money getting sent to these people. Either way, sending hundreds of billions of dollars to the country you are currently in a conflict with. I think that's like a conflict of interest, no?
Sorry, say that one more time.
What I'm saying is if we are investing all this money into these other Middle Eastern countries that are then giving it to the Iranians, I feel like it makes it our own money that is being
We're
spent.
not giving it to any terrorists. The IRGC would have to leave. If they don't, if the IRGC doesn't leave, then they're never gonna get their money.
So then
But
who
not
does the
no one
money
that
go
killed
to?
anyone is gonna get that money.
So then who does the money go to if it's not the regime in charge?
They don't even know yet. There is no regime in charge. The regime is done. The president says he has no power anymore. He's about to retire. The actual new Ayatollah hasn't spoken a word since he got blown up and his father got killed. So who is in charge exactly?
I would say it would be the Iranian military who's firing drones at Kuwaiti airports and hurting 60 plus people just as of what was that, Friday?
Okay, so let
You know
them
what I mean?
invest in taking out the IRGC, and then they want to invest in the country by building it back up and making it stronger and more secular. Then why can't they?
Because it wouldn't be an investment in the terms you're speaking of for the people, right? At the end of the day, there's going to be a government in charge. If it's not the Revolutionary Guard Corps, then there's going to be some other government, right? And as of right now, that is not to be determined. The civilians don't have the power to overthrow the IRGC because if they did, they would have already. The
They haven't
internet
been
is
doing
still shut
anything.
off.
The internet just got turned back on like a day or two ago, and now they're back on revolting and they're protesting in the street because a lot of the mercenaries got sent out of Iran because they ran out of money. They're running low on money.
If they're running out of money and they have no money and they are so
They
hurt
don't
and
have
their
no money.
entire
They have money for a
military is
while.
destroyed, then how is it they can remain in power?
No one's invading them. There's no troops on the ground, and the people still live in fear. It's not like America
Which
where everyone
mean
had a gun. If it was
right.
America,
But
they would have
if
been
the
throwing
people
over the
are
government.
living in fear of the government, that means the government is still in control. No?
Well, it's not only that they're living in fear, that they're also starving to death. That's another issue.
Oh, 100%. And,
And a lot of them
goes
have been,
back.
some of them have been driving around unalive leaders from the IRGC on the ground on their area.
That may be so, but at the
So they
end of
are
the day,
hunting people
you
down.
know,
They are trying to overthrow the government. They are hunting people down. They're being more active. They're getting more active as it goes.
I mean, if that's the argument you're going to
They
make, I
probably
could
were
say the
waiting
same
for the
thing
guns.
about
They probably were waiting
I
for the
could
guns
say the
because they're
same thing
supposed to get
about
guns from the
our
Kurds.
people. You know what I mean? You could say the same thing about us. You know, we have Americans in this country trying to kill our leader and overthrow the government. So what? It doesn't mean anything because
If there's a
there's no
100,000 people that
results.
die fighting against Donald Trump, that might be an issue. You know, you might want to. There might be an issue. You know.
Oh, I agree 100%. And there definitely is an issue with the government. And don't get me wrong, I think the IRGC are pieces of shit. They massacre their own civilians when they're in protests. They shut off the internet to cut them off from being able to, I don't know, reorganize themselves to make it a better fight. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and think that they don't have all the cards in their hand.
What cards does the IRGC have? Do they have a nuclear weapon?
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the White House just declassified plans where we are going to send Delta Force and Navy SEAL operatives into Iran for over 3.5 weeks with constant air support by F 35s and F 15s to recover over 200 pounds of nuclear material that are still in these nuclear sites that we bombed with B2s. Like they have enriched uranium.
So it does. It sounds like a good idea. Then we should go in there. I'm glad you agree.
I agree and I disagree. I think, nothing good is going to come of these people having their hands on enriched uranium and developing nuclear bombs, right? But at the same time, what is it worth? You
The
know,
future of the
in my
world.
opinion, before weeks before this war started, there was already protests going on in Iran where they were going to overthrow their leader. Uh, I feel like all we had to do was just wait a couple months
For what?
for a regime change.
They tried and they all died. They had no guns. What is a group of people going to do with no guns against a group of people with tanks and guns?
That's a good point.
Like, how
The
are we going to
point I would
win?
make is we aren't gaining any friends in Iran when our president is going on Twitter saying we're going to bomb all their civilian infrastructure. We're going to shut off the power. We're going to shut off the water supply. The only people that hurts is these innocent civilians that are stuck in the middle of this conflict. We're not making any friends doing this.
But some
Not
of
to
the civilians
mention,
love Trump. They were screaming and shouting and praising Donald Trump.
oh, I'm sure. And, you know, I can only imagine when you're the victim of an oppressive regime. But at the same time, you got to think about the fact that our president is blurring the line between good and evil. There was a time in this nation where, you know, America represented the moral good of the planet. And I feel like we lost that.
Humans are not good or evil. Every human is sinful, and also the fact that people are going to kill us, or we're going to kill them, or we're going to take them out. It's self defense, but no one is inherently good or bad because everyone sins, and all sins are equal under God's eyes.
100% facts.
So
I
how
guess
can
I would
we?
ask you, why do you think we're involved in this conflict? Like, what is our
Uh,
goal here?
I mean, if you're asking me to prove to you it's a 47-year war, or you're asking me what the goal is, the goal is either going to be what Trump said, or it's going to be, or it can change. I mean, the goal, we both agree it can change over time, right?
100%. Well,
Okay, well, so the goal
actually,
right now is to get a new, someone new in power, to change
well,
the
we already
regime.
did that, right? We
No,
replaced
but we don't
Supreme
want
Leader
the
Khamenei
IRGC.
with Supreme Leader Khamenei.
Yeah, but we don't want the IRGC still in power.
Okay. So if the goal is regime change, then why is our government saying that is not our goal and that our goal is just to destroy their entire military infrastructure to force them into a ceasefire? Ending.
Well, maybe the goal
You know what I
changed,
mean?
but I'm just saying what Trump originally said.
Right. But I don't know. I feel like as a man, especially a president of the United States, you should be able to have a clear and concise goal as to what you want to accomplish, especially when you're talking about going into a conflict with another nation on this planet and you're talking about sending our men there. You know, if our goal was regime change, then we have utterly failed at that goal. They're spending tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. We replaced Supreme Leader Khamenei with Supreme Leader Khamenei. We have turned all of our Middle Eastern bases into Middle Eastern assets. I mean, you know, where is the fine line on where we could say, hey, maybe this war is not in our best interest?
Well, maybe there was a whole list of goals and I just misspoke. But one of the number one goal was to prevent a nuclear catastrophe and prevent them from building a nuclear weapon. Two, I would say, would possibly be a regime change. But technically, like you said, we did that. But some people argue that it still has to be done again. But Our main thing was really the nuclear weapons, which, they were trying to dig the nuclear material out of the ground, and they've tried that multiple times, but we always strike the area again to prevent them from digging it up. But that's why we're sending in those troops, I guess. I didn't hear about that until you told me, to be honest. But that makes a lot of sense because before now, I knew it was still in the ground. They were trying to dig it up, and they're trying to build nuclear weapons. So I guess the best thing is we just get us out of here. But of course, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, they're putting troops on the ground." But I think it's fine.
Like for me personally, I was born in 1996, right? When I was 5 years old, I'm in New York as well. I saw 9/11 happen. They sent me home from school early, and I went to my living room and watched people jump from the Second World Trade Center. I remember clearly, the entire war on terror, and we got involved into a 20-year conflict with Iraq and Afghanistan over the same shit. I guess that's my biggest hang up. Like, we just got off a fucking 20-year war that cost trillions of dollars to the taxpayer with Afghanistan, what, 3, 4 years ago when Biden forced all the troops to leave? And
Well, they
here we
should
are
this back
back
then.
at it. The same man who said he wasn't going to get us involved in any more Middle Eastern conflicts. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? I
He
feel
didn't
like
get
we're
us
just
involved
there
in this one.
to
This one has been
protect.
going on. Go ahead.
Feel like we're there to protect Israeli national security and nothing more and nothing less.
What evidence of that do you have?
Well, logic, right? If the argument is made that we got into this war to prevent Iran from being able to develop a nuclear weapon, right? Why didn't we go to war with North Korea when they were developing theirs? Why didn't we go to war with Israel in the 70s when they were secretly developing and detonating their own nuclear missiles that they stole from us?
Well, I don't know all the intelligence
If
agency behind that, but we've gotten to war with plenty of countries over nukes. What's your point? And haven't with others. What's your point? I mean, there's no correlation there.
my
Some countries we've gone to war with over nukes, some we haven't. That's all for specific reasons.
well, we haven't gone to war with another country over nuclear weapons.
What about Afghanistan and Iraq?
Yeah, you got me there. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, uh, that helps my point. Think about, all right, if that is the war we went, fucking A, if that is the conflict where we decided no more nations on this planet were going to have nuclear weapons, and we went there and they had nothing, we're going to Iran, we see they have some shit. Fair enough. I can understand that argument. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's economically or politically feasible or respectable or long lasting in this country to do that. And I would say that based on the results of what we've gotten so far, right? We're the most powerful military on the planet. We can deploy a fucking Burger King anywhere on this planet within 17 hours, right? And we've been at war with Iran for how many months? We spent how many of billions of dollars of our money
Like
for what?
$25 billion. We spent $25 billion, but we also seized around $25 billion, $24 billion from
Which we're
Iran.
going to give back to them.
We might get back to them. There's a whole deal going on. If that deal passes, I don't think it's going to pass because they don't want to accept it. But if it did, then yeah, we would
But
give them that money back, and it might be an investment or they might take it. We'll see what happens.
think about that for a second. We're going, well, there's rumors that we're going to give this nation that we were at war with for the past couple of months, who killed our soldiers, money for what?
Well, I don't
You
know if
you think
you
you could
ever
trust
voted
the
Democrat.
word of this gov? You think you could trust the word of this IRGC government?
Well, I don't know if you ever voted Democrat once or twice in your life before, but the Democrats have done the exact same thing many times, and this time we're actually going to get a return for our investment. The Democrats did it 2 or 3 times. They didn't make peace with Iran. They didn't make an investment with Iran. They literally got nothing. They did it twice. They got no peace. They got no investment. They got none of their money back. All they got is Iran with more guns, more weapons, and more angry. And
So
Trump
why
ain't
are
gonna
we
do it
trying to
like that
do it for a third time?
because Trump is not gonna do it like that. If you don't, you have to get rid of the terrorist first before we give you the money. We're not just gonna hand the money over like Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden. That's why they don't want to agree to it. They're calling it a. They say that they're calling it like a scam. They said there's no guarantee of it, because they know if they try to play any games, that we're gonna pull the money. That's what they think too, but that's the truth. They know that we would pull the money from them.
And in all fairness, can you blame them?
Well, can you blame us for pulling the money from them if they act like terrorists and they keep bombing people?
Well, okay, you know, that's a tricky topic for me.
It's not a tricky
Like,
topic. Do you support them bombing people or not?
I absolutely don't support them. But if, I guess for me is like, if that's the line we're drawing, then I would say the Chinese kill more Americans than Iranians do a year. They're the entire reason why the
Hey,
fentanyl
well,
epidemic is
that's a
happening.
tier 1 nation. Iran is a shithole tier 3 nation. We don't go to war with tier 1 nations. If we go to war with a tier 1 nation, that's going to be World War III. Do you want World War III?
I don't want it, but I think
If you
it's
don't
going to
want World
happen
War Three,
eventually.
then the only way to avoid World War III is to go to war with shithole countries like Venezuela, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. If we try to go to war with a tier 1 country like China or Russia, yeah, that's gonna be World War III. So that's how we avoid that.
Okay, so let's look at the record here.
North
You
Korea is
just
kind of
mentioned,
desolate. North Korea is all the way down there. The only thing really close to it is South Korea, and Asia's kind of close to it too. But they have a horrible ballistic rocket system. Their ballistic rocket system is so horrible. If they try to launch it, there's a chance that the nuke would fall backwards and they would blow up their country. And even if they could launch it, they would only hit South Korea, but they would also blow up themselves. So
well, a couple things. One, I hate to be that guy, but you got to do your research. North Korean ballistic missile technology, as crazy as it sounds, they have intercon, not intercontinental, sorry, long range ballistic missiles that could hit the coast of California. Yes, they do. 100%. They do. No, they wouldn't.
I don't believe that.
I would implore you to look it up. The second point I would make is, you named three shithole countries that we went to war with, right? Iran slash Afghanistan, or sorry, Iraq slash Afghanistan, Venezuela, and Iran. Look at our record. Out of those wars, we quote unquote won one out of three.
I think we won every single one of them. We're winning in Iran.
How are we winning in Iran when A, we are currently in a negotiated ceasefire with them that our president created? B, there's rumors talking about how we're giving them hundreds of billions of dollars potentially for them to, I don't know, stop shooting drones at international airports.
Once again, that's kind of dishonest.
C,
When that watches the video will see that we're not giving them anything.
that is true. That is true.
We are facilitating. Even the money
But
that we have,
C,
their money is not even in American bank accounts. It's in Qatari. It's in Qatar's bank account. So that's also in the video I posted about.
yes, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but any large monetary transactions done on an international scale through the US dollar, unless you are a BRICS country, which is done in the Chinese yuan. So at the end of the day, right? So this is why sanctions are such a big deal when we're saying we're giving sanctions to a country, because any account that they have to transact in US dollars is able to be tracked by the treasury, which means technically we have complete control over these transactions. That's why we can sit here and say, hey, we're going to take $24 billion from you. Or, hey, we're going to go seize your Russian oligarch super yacht. You know what I mean? I
So
think you're not thinking
what
of
are you trying to say?
what I'm trying to say is I don't think A, we won in Iraq and Afghanistan, like you said, we thought we did.
We
B,
took
I
over the
don't think
whole
we are,
country in like 2 or 3 weeks.
bro. Afghanistan is literally run by the Taliban right now. That we
Okay.
spent over $2 trillion of taxpayer money and we lost thousands of our men.
We beat the Taliban. We killed 1 million of them
Then how is it they can control an entire country right now?
because we left and Biden did a horrible pullout and negotiated a horrible deal.
Partially, I would argue it's because we're getting involved in these Middle Eastern conflicts that we have no business being involved of. We're
Well, that was under
in the
Bush.
process in the process of fighting these governments, we're killing civilians and restricting them from basic services, which only radicalizes them.
Yeah, sometimes it's bad. I'm not agreeing on Afghanistan and Iraq, and that's also kind of going off topic a little bit. I thought we were also chasing Osama bin Laden, but for what he did to during 9/11. But we're not going to go into a whole tangent about that. I'm mostly just here to talk about Iran. And you
Yeah,
can't avoid all
100%. And
civilian
I apologize.
casualties. You can't avoid all civilian casualties, unfortunately.
Well, you can by just not going to war.
Well, you tell them that. See if that works out well for you. I don't think it would work for me.
Well, it wasn't them that, like, they didn't
I
declare
think
war
they
on
went to
us, right?
war
We,
when they did 9/11. I think they went to war with us when they did Operation Praying Mantis. I think they did war to us when they did all these attacks against America.
all right. Well, it was Saudi Arabia that was the main nation sponsor of the 9/11 attacks. And yet here we are making $100 billion deals with them on defense contracts, yada yada. Like, I don't see how that could be an agreement. I don't think anybody really thought Iran was the sponsor of the 9/11 attacks. Yes, they are a sponsor of terror. They are directly funding groups like Hezbollah. But so are we, bro. we are directly funding rebel groups that are fighting governments that we don't agree with. I just don't see. Well, I can see it. The problem is, it's us. We're Americans. Why would we give a fuck about anything that doesn't really directly affect us?
Does Al Qaeda? I understand. I mean, it does affect us in other ways. But does Al Qaeda? Did they receive money from Iran?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I mean, Al Qaeda is the one that did 9/11. They were a part of it, right? And it was only one Saudi guy. Someone in the comment section said, but I don't know. But I wasn't even trying to
Oh,
say
well,
9/11 was Iranian guys. I was referring more to the Afghan, the Iraqi
this.
guys.
I think I knew what you were trying to say. The whole sponsoring of terrorism acts on this planet.
Yeah, I was referring back to when Bush was president for the Afghanis and the Iraqis. I don't know. I don't even know everyone that was part of 9/11, but or funded it 100%. Osama was the only Saudi that funded it.
Well, fucking A. I'm not trying to delve into a topic.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
It's
delve
not
into.
really pertinent, but yeah, I guess my biggest points are I don't think we're winning this war in Iran because we wouldn't be at the negotiating table with them if we were. Like we
Well, we're
have,
supposed to just invade with boots on the ground then?
I don't think we have to, you know? It,
How many do you think will
I don't
die? Do you think there'll be like thousands of them lined up to try to stop us from taking the uranium? Or do you
think
think they'll just let
thousands
us take
would
it?
potentially die, yes, because, think about the fact that Iran, this nation invented Shahed drones, which Russia uses on the daily. They invented suicide drone technology. Not to mention our ceasefire with this nation just gave them the ability to harden their military infrastructure and dig deeper and relocate their assets. Like if we had such an upper hand, thinking about the fact that our Air Force is the largest Air Force on the planet, and our Navy is the second largest Air Force on the planet. And the fact that we spend $1.5 trillion a year on our military, and we've gone, in my opinion, nowhere. I understand your point upon the fact that, your argument is we destroyed a majority of their military infrastructure and their leaderships. I would argue that shit doesn't matter if it doesn't change anything, right? Like, for example, if the Canadians flew an F-35 into the USA and bombed our president, do you think that would immediately change the power structure in this country?
That would never happen, but yeah, of course.
It wouldn't because, at the end of the day, it's these same people who are still calling the shots.
It's not Trump though. Trump is Trump, right? So you don't think it makes a difference if Trump is in power or not, or if it's JD Vance?
I don't think it does in the long run.
We we
And I would
we
argue,
blockaded Iran's blockade though, and now we're getting like 30 ships a day, 30 ships a day through. And we've got lots of ships through, and Iran can't even stop us. How are they winning? Aaron said, "What a liberal he
because
brainwashed,"
like you said,
but you're not liberal, are you?
oh no, I don't believe in handouts at all. I work for my own. But I don't know. I would argue that that's not really the case because what is 30 ships compared to a 165-day ship normal average? You know what I mean? We're talking about 15% of normal ship traffic for a country that you said is a shithole country and that we destroyed their entire military. And yet they still have a chokehold on 25% of the global economy and is causing an
Oh, we're just
energy
being smart.
crisis.
Well, America's fine. The other countries are suffering way more than us, but they refuse to intervene. And we're saying, well, you know what? If you want us to help you, either give us money, give us jets, or give us something. But we're not going to just help you for free. We don't really care about like we're the ones that are getting least affected by it.
We're not, though. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like we now have less than 25% of our strategic petroleum reserves left because
That's
we're
because Joe
releasing
Biden
millions
drained
of.
most of it.
No, it's because Trump is releasing the millions of barrels of oil right now to offset the cost of the price of oil.
But Biden did the exact same thing. He almost drained the oils to zero. So the fact that we ever got back up to 25% is crazy. Because we were below that
And the
before.
fact that we're draining that is crazier.
Biden did the same exact thing. And there wasn't even a war going on. He just did it for no reason because he was a horrible president.
Well, if that's your argument, then I would say that makes Trump no better than Biden
Well,
if
the
he's
oil
doing the
supply
same
shouldn't even
things
be
he did.
low. If Biden would have never touched it, the oil supply wouldn't be low at all. Because Biden used way more oil. Trump just used a little bit of the oil reserves. But Biden drained them for like 2 or 3 years straight. So if Trump just used it for a month or two, it wouldn't really hurt us. We had so much oil reserves, we could have gone through like 2 world wars and we would have been fine. But Biden literally drained it for 3 years straight.
Not true.
It would have been like if we were at war for 3 years straight and just draining our oil
I
reserves.
humbly disagree
I'm gonna look it up and tell you how low our
on
oil
that.
was. It was so low. Our oil reserves were
Yes.
so low. It was crazy low. I think it might have been like 14%. That's my guess. But we'll see. Let's take a look. Let's find out how low. How low did the oil reserves go, Biden? Let's take a look. I know it's not a contest or anything, but we'll take a look at how much Trump drained it too. Biden drained the oil reserves to a 40-year low. So 40-year low.
Mhm.
He used 50%, almost 50% of the emergency oil reserve.
God damn, that is crazy, bro.
He used 638 million barrels of the oil reserve. So now
Damn,
let's see
that's
how many
actually
oil reserves Trump did. Let's take a look. I'm genuinely curious now.
me too. I'm biting my
Let's see.
tongue here.
It says he's drawn out 58 million barrels. So Biden has taken
Yeah,
about 15 times more oil from the oil reserve
that
than
is
Donald Trump.
crazy.
Yeah, so about 15 times more. Yeah, no, see that it doesn't. Let's see. We had Trump built the oil reserves back up to 415 million barrels at the start of 2026.
Right.
So that was good. And
Then
Biden
look
was
at that.
president When Biden was president, there was only 243 million barrels of oil on reserve. Now we got, even after Trump pulled out a bit of oil barrels, we got 415 million. So we still got 160 more million barrels of oil than we did under Joe Biden. And there wasn't even a war or anything going on. Trump could release a whole bunch of
That's
more
wrong.
oil.
There's a war. There was a war in Iraq and Afghanistan,
No,
bro.
I'm saying under I mean there was a war that we pulled out of that under Biden.
But before you pull out of a war, you're involved in it.
Yeah, but there was no war for what, 2 years under Biden? So what excuse did he have?
There was a war for the entirety of Biden's term until he withdrew our troops from Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was in 2022, wasn't it?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So he still had 2 more years left. And he still
Right.
drained all that oil.
All right. Think about this. Trump drained how much oil you said? 50 or 60 million barrels?
56 million.
56 million barrels in a 2 month conflict with Iran. Imagine that went on for 2 years.
He
You'd
would
be probably
probably
looking at about the same number.
yeah, probably a little bit less still, but we don't know. We'll have to see. But Trump really
That's
isn't
my
even taking
point
that many.
is,
He's not really taking that many barrels of oil. If it was any other president, they would probably be trying to drain all those barrels of oil to make themselves look good.
I disagree. What president is going to sit there and run through our oil reserves and make
Biden
it look
really
good?
did
You know
that.
what I
That's why he
mean?
tried the lower gas prices. That's exactly what he did. All trying to lower gas prices so he looks like a better president.
But that's literally what Trump is doing right now.
He's not. He barely used any of the oil.
How long has he been in office?
Uh, a year and 6 months.
A year and 6 months,
I
and two
don't know.
months of which we were in a conflict. You know what I mean? Like, even even if we're saying every year and 6 months he's chewing through 56 million barrels of oil, that still puts him at like 150, 200 million barrels of oil by the end of his presidency, which is not being
The war's
replaced.
not going to last that long. And 200 million barrels of oil, that's still 43 million barrels of oil less than Joe Biden.
I could tell you every single soldier that was sent to Iraq and Afghanistan never thought the war would last as long as it did. And yet somehow I grew up 29 years of my life with a majority of which we were involved in a fucking war. I was paying for. And we're doing it again.
I mean, we're
You know
not
what I
even,
mean?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
it's benefiting other countries overseas. And it's not like we're in Iran or we're in Ukraine. Like, we're not dealing with any of the conflict on the ground at all over here. Like, the way people complain about it is acting like they're the ones getting blown up in a war. But at the end of the day, these are people that are waging jihad on America. So they don't really care about life in the first place. So how am I going to feel bad for them? And yeah, innocent people die, but why are they in the
Well,
area of jihadists?
well, don't get me wrong. You shouldn't give a fuck about terrorists at all. The argument I'm trying to make is you have to think about the economic and political consequences of waging these wars.
I mean, I don't know. It could help our economy. It helps our economy in some ways. It gets new jobs, and we sometimes make money from it. Like we're making money from Venezuela. So a lot of time, wars make us money. Look at the first Great Recession we were in. It was the World War that got us out of the recession. So
Well, that's a mixed bag. You're talking about World War II, and yes, I understand it brought us out of a depression, but there's like a multitude of factors that led up to that. A being the fact that our government spent billions of dollars on public work projects, employing our own people to give them a sustainable job. The fact that we were attacked as a nation by Japan, and not only did A, you have the entire populace of America united against the common enemy. B, you're sending all your men out to this war, so the women had to, step in and help produce some infrastructure. At the same time, of the fact that the government was forcing companies to turn their manufacturing spaces into production for the war machine. The fact that all of our military equipment during World War II was designed around these commercially owned companies to produce this hardware on the equipment they already have. That's the reason why we had 4 Shermans for every one Tiger tank. Not to mention the fact that we are blessed with our geography. We are the only country in World War II that had the least infrastructure damage. We were, for example, we bombed Germany day in and day out. We destroyed the entirety of Berlin and killed hundreds of thousands of civilians in the process. Same thing goes for Japan. We destroyed their entire country pretty much with
so
bombing.
are we
We
war
were lucky that we were
criminals?
untouched.
Are we war criminals?
That depends on your perspective. Right now, as a nation in the USA, we just recently withdrew from the Geneva Convention, which means we don't have to follow a rule of warfare. In my opinion, yeah, that makes us pretty shitty.
We withdrew from the Geneva Convention.
Yes, sir.
When was that?
I'll tell you, look it up right now.
I can look it up. You'll probably. Oh, he's gonna freeze on us. But get the likes up, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, drop some super chats. Oh, you're timing them out. Why are you timing them out?
Hello?
Hello?
Still here. Okay.
Can you turn your camera back on? I think you turn your camera off and
Oh,
back on.
yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
I
brother.
see. No, you did. It was frozen.
Sorry about that.
Tom says war isn't about being fake, it's about winning.
Yeah, that is what it's about. We're not winning, which is fucking sad.
We are winning. All we do is win. They couldn't stop us from getting any boats in and or out. Any boats we want in and or out, we're getting them through.
Yeah, that's true. Because we have the might of the United States Navy.
Exactly. So they can
If you're a civilian, if you're a civilian
fuck with us
commercial
at all.
tanker who has to drive through sea mines, you're probably not going to do that.
They've been looking for like a month now. There is no evidence of sea mines in the area.
then why is it we're only limited to 30 ships a day passing through instead of
Because they keep trying
165?
to lie and make threats, and we want to make sure. But they keep lying, making threats, saying, "Oh, we got bombs in the sea." Yeah, where? We've been radaring under the ocean for weeks now. Where? Where are these sea bombs?
But don't you think if you had the backing of the planet's strongest navy, you would navigate these waters?
Oh, we could. It's about insurance and logistics because insurance companies are not going to be willing to insure the boat going through there. And these are ships with millions, millions of dollars worth of goods. Ships are not, or insurance companies are not willing to insure that trip. So there's also some other logistics stuff. Yeah, but we could do it for sure. Dirty money. What was the thing that you were telling me about? He's in the chats. He brought up a good point about the logistics too. It's not the waters. They
Oh,
don't
shut
have a
up,
right to
dude.
control the waters. That's stupid. Oh, there's multiple countries on that across that water.
That is true, but under under international law, ugh, every the coast country that you could prove is like a part of your country. So, for
Okay,
example, like
but they
I don't
can't
know if you've heard this in
own
the
our
news within.
waterways. I agree, but they can't
You're
own
right, they can't.
Omar's, Oman's, and all these other countries' waterways.
100% agree with you, and I don't think they should at all. But they
They can't.
mined the Strait of Hormuz. If if we could do all these things, we would have done them already. There's no
Uh,
reason why we wouldn't have.
like what? We've already let ships in and out.
Yes, but we're talking about 10 to 15% of normal traffic.
Nah, I don't think it's that low. It's at least 50 or 60% of normal traffic.
15 ships is 60 per.
No, 60 ships a day. 30 to 60, it depends. Depends on the day, but around at least 30 ships a day recently.
But still, 30 ships a day compared to 165 normal average. That is 20%.
Maybe, but the numbers I read, that doesn't match up. But either way, it doesn't make a difference. They can still get boats through.
Yes, they can. Like
They
you said,
take
there's
the
also a
300.
large amount of boats that are not because they aren't insured by these insurance companies because there's the threat of danger by Iran, which impacts global energy.
Yeah, but they'll eventually come to a deal. I mean, what do you think's gonna happen?
To be honest, I have no idea, bro. Hopefully,
Okay,
something
so
good. But if the deals we're making is giving these people $300 billion of money that we don't know where it's coming from, that's not much of a deal, in my opinion.
as long as we can get rid of the IGC and the strait opens up and we don't have to pay for it as taxpayers, I'm all fine for it.
Hey, I'll tell you what, brother. If you give me $300 billion, I'll disappear. You won't hear a peep from me.
I'll just take 30 million.
I'll take $3. No, I'm just playing. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is like how are you going to make a deal with these people? Like, I personally, I wouldn't trust any person part of the IRGC. Are we going to hand them over that amount of money and expect that they're going to do the morally right thing or the thing that they agreed upon?
Um, the morally right thing and the thing they agreed upon. Well, the morally right thing is the thing they agreed upon. Because they're supposed to be a man of their word, right?
I'm sorry, 100%. I like to. Well, I don't know if IRGC is going to be a man of their word. I certainly respect a man for their word, and I think that's the most important thing nowadays is a man's word because we're not worth shit without it. I'm not going to expect a terrorist's words as being something they're going to uphold after giving them hundreds of billions of dollars.
That's why we don't give the money to
The
terrorists. We
same,
get them out of power and then we give the money to good people.
well, we have to get them out of power first, which we haven't
Yes.
done.
We've done a pretty good job
You know
with
what I
taking
mean?
people. I mean, they don't even have a recognizable government left. Who? What?
Like for the IRGC, you know, the military. The entire Iranian military was designed for a decapitation event like this, so they don't have to operate under a supreme leader or a president's authority. They could take action on their own hands based off their commander's words. There's a reason why they're still flying drones into civilian airports that we have bases in, injuring 60 people and killing one person. You know, there's a reason why they're still on the
Drones are
negotiation
easy.
table. You wouldn't be on the negotiation table if you didn't have something to play. Had no power left. You just surrendered. You know what I mean?
No, not unless you're crazy and you're on drugs and you're an evil dictator. If you're on meth and you're high as a kite and you got billions of dollars and they're alcoholics, then they're just crashing out hard. Probably not.
That's true. But I would say what matters is the fact that they are in power. You
Well, we
know,
don't
at the
have
end of the day, we
one
could sit here
central
and say,
power. There's not one central
I'm sorry,
power.
what'd you say, brother? My bad.
I said there's not one central power, but I do agree that the IRGC is around.
You know, I don't know. I guess the entire point I was trying to make is I don't think we're winning. And I think personally that this is a war that I don't think we should be involved in. And I think is just protecting Israel.
How is it protecting Israel?
It's sad to
We're the one that started beef with Iran way before Israel was even involved. And even if we didn't protect Israel, what's going to happen if Israel gets nuked? Do you not think? Have you ever heard of global nuclear devastation? If one country lets off a nuke, there's going to be nukes let off all around the world. So what's going to happen when Israel gets destroyed and they let off a nuke?
I can guarantee you nothing fucking good is going to come of that.
Exactly. So why should we, like, even if we didn't defend them, what's going to happen if that does happen?
Well, like your expectation of mutual devastation.
Yeah. Israel has already admitted that they don't
So
care if they're gonna get hit with a huge rocket or a nuke or a bomb, they're gonna nuke everybody. He
so wouldn't that make Israel a bigger threat than Iran because
No, any country
Israel
would do
already
that.
has nuclear weapons and Israel is already being rocketed?
No, any country would do that. We would do
And
the same thing.
I disagree.
No, we
You know,
would
we
if
have the
die.
most.
If the president was taken out, everyone in the White House was taken out, the whole government was taken out. Yeah, we would probably nuke ourselves too. We would nuke some states and some cities probably. But this guy says he
Yes, and
says I
that
bet this guy believes Israel controls Trump. Is that true? He dropped a $2 super chat and says you probably believe Trump is controlled by Israel.
I don't think he's controlled by Israel. I think he's heavily influenced by them.
So same difference basically.
If you want to look at it that way, I suppose. I don't think Israel is in direct control of our president at all. However, I think our nation, especially politically, at least within the past 15 to 20 years, has been heavily invested into Israel and the Israeli message that they want to send. And the fact that,
How is that?
Israel, the fact that Israel is sending out our politicians that are in our Congress to come to Israel and tour the country and force them to
Why
say
can't they
only
do that?
positive things about
Plenty
them
of
on
leaders
social
do that.
media.
Okay, plenty of leaders do that for their countries. Why can't they do that? And how does Israel influence our politics? What do you mean Israel's giving money to our politicians?
Well, forget what the group is called. This political action group, flies politicians that are new congressmen or new congresswomen out to Israel, try to coerce them into agreeing with whatever their agenda is.
Are you talking about APAC?
Yes.
APAC flies people to Israel to converse them?
Shit. I'm sorry. I was gonna look it up. I don't remember the correct initials of this political action committee.
Need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to speak.
No, you're good. In the meantime, guys, double tap that like button. If you guys got any questions, comments, drop some super chat, subscribe. Oh, well, why would you go to Israel if you're not already pro-Jewish in the first place? So how would they convince you if you're not already pro-Jewish?
Because they're giving you millions of dollars to support your campaign, which is the entire seat of your power. You need
Okay,
campaign
so you
money.
can get millions of dollars from other people to support your campaign too. But AIPAC receives
Right.
$0 from Israel. So AIPAC received $0 from Israel. I don't know how it's relevant. Time says we had
Well,
continual ships in the strait since the 80s and always will. Yeah, we've always had shipments going through there for a long time.
yeah, that is true. But there's only 35 ships a day going through compared to 165 normal average. Yes, we have
What?
ships going through, but we have not even we. The globe has a significant less amount of commercial ships transporting energy resources required for these companies, creating a global energy crisis.
The energy crisis under, I think Clinton was it or Nixon was way worse. And also under Biden. So you believe Trump is controlled by Israel? He's asking you again. So you believe Trump is controlled by
So do
Israel?
you
We kind of
believe
already
Trump
answered it, but
controls you? Yeah, no, I don't believe he's controlled by Israel. I think American politics in general are heavily influenced by Israeli money.
but how? AIPAC receives $0 from Israel. You can Google search that yourself. We're bringing him down the rabbit hole, guys. He's gonna find out the truth. That AIPAC receives $0 from Israel. It's all on the books. It's all on the books. That's the fantastic stuff. It's a lobbying group, so everything has to be on the books. We already said what AIPAC stands for. Are you just joining in now? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get everyone to look out there themselves. I'm not going to say AIPAC is not pro Israel. They are pro Israel, but they receive $0 directly from the government of Israel. But they are pro Jew. They are pro Jewish religion. And also, time on my side.
And corrected on that.
Yeah. So Jews do not control our politics. That's a right wing conservative lie they tell us. But Saudi Arabia actually does fund American politics. And I know we've done business deals with them too, but they're actually funding political campaigns. You can look it up yourself.
Oh, I believe it 100%.
But they're registered as a foreign
But
lobbying group. APAC isn't registered as a foreign lobbying group because APAC is just a Jewish advocacy group. They're pro-Jew, pro-Jewish.
one thing I feel like I gotta say is just because you're Jewish doesn't make you an Israeli, and just because you're Israeli doesn't make you a Jewish.
No, I know that. There's 2.3 million Israeli Muslim Arabs, whatever you want to call them. They're still Israeli by nationality because they were born in Israel, but they're Muslim and they're Arab. So yeah, that's what I said. I said APAC is not registered as a foreign lobbying group, but Saudi Arabia and all these other countries that are
100%.
radically Islamic, they're registered as foreign lobbying groups, and they invest in politicians sometimes. But the guy that funded Thomas Massey, he's a huge guy that's known for being anti-Semitic. That was his main campaign funder. That guy gave like Thomas Massey
Hate to
six
see it.
million dollars. Either way,
Isn't
I don't
Thomas
think.
Massey that guy who's, yeah, sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask if Massey was that guy on Epstein's Island.
No, he's the guy in Kentucky that was super conservative and right wing. He was promoted by Nick Fuentes. He was in, I think, what was he, a congressman, guys? Maybe I'm wrong. I think he was a congressman or he was in the Senate or something.
Yeah.
That he was fighting Israel in the election, but he
That
just
is
makes
so
up
crazy,
excuses
bro.
of why he lost over and over again, over and over
Like,
again.
bro, you gotta be so
I don't care about
desperate
the
to be
word
making up excuses like
anti-Semitic.
that.
Yeah, they're saying anti-Semitic. I don't care about that. You can criticize the government of Israel
Yeah,
without
no,
blaming uh, Jewish people for everything. You guys probably didn't know that.
100% well said, bro.
What do you think about Graham Plattner? That's what the comment section wants to know. I'm on my side.
Graham Plattner, you said?
Yeah, he's that white guy that has a neo-Nazi tattoo on him. He had two Nazi tattoos. One of them he had a swastika, and the other one he had a skull on him. And he's a Democrat socialist.
Mm,
Oh, he also got caught on
mm,
Tinder
mm, mm.
posting these shirtless photos to women cheating on his wife.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I was not. I haven't heard of this shit until now, bro. Uh, oh man, Democratic Socialist, bro, and a not. How do you have a Nazi tattoo and you're a Democratic Socialist? Like that
I
is
don't know. He said he got it in
fashion.
the
Oh
army or
man,
something. Yeah, he said he got it in the army.
bro, you got a Nazi tattoo in the army? Like I don't know who he's trying to fool with that shit. Like, come on, bro.
He got it covered up, but he waited for it to become an issue on television, and then he covered it up.
No, I personally I can't respect anybody who claims to be a democratic socialist or pushes heavy socialist policies. I don't agree with that. I think you got to earn what you're worth, and I
I
think
agree.
the government giving handouts to people is only enabling them to expect that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's like over 40 million people just on food stamps alone. Imagine the total welfare recipients. And he tried to act like he didn't know about the
100%.
Nazi tattoos. The Plattner dude, he tried to act like he didn't know about the Nazi tattoos, and then he got caught talking to his ex girlfriend about how he thought it was funny that he had Nazi tattoos, and he was making German jokes about
Like
them.
you may not know the night of if you got a tattoo, but you're gonna know the next morning. You know what I mean? Let alone a goddamn swastika. Like, come on. And you're running for a fucking political office. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man. Anyways, yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh, here we go. This guy says, no, Saudi Arabia does not fund American politics. I don't know, brother. You might want to look into it. I'm telling you, I could be wrong, but the last time I checked, that was pretty on point. This guy says, greetings from Argentina. What part of Argentina?
Hey, much love.
I love when people go on this tangent about oh you're gay, you got another man's, like, they're so insecure, they'll say the shit to me, they'll come up to me, they'll be like, oh bro, you're so gay, you got Trump's name on your head, you're wearing a Trump hat, oh you got another man on your wall, you're wearing another man's hat, that's so gay. Well, first off, y'all had no fucking problems wearing another man's shirt when it said Ralph Lauren or Gucci or Louis Vuitton. You had no fucking
Yeah.
problem then rocking another man's name on you. All of a sudden now it's gay. Y'all had no problem rocking that Ford that Ford truck, but all of a sudden it's a problem to rock another brand with someone's name on it, or something with someone's name on it. That's just crazy logic right there
Just loser
for them.
mentality. Like, guys, even even if me and him have political differences, we're not sitting here disrespecting each other. We're engaging in a logical debate. And y'all sitting here talking about what the fuck people are wearing, bro. Like, come on, lock in. What are we doing here,
Tommy,
guys?
I will give it to you. Israel didn't exist as a country until 1948, but Palestine never existed as a country. They existed as a nation in a nation state or as a state in 1988, but they never existed as a country. And Arabs came into the West Bank 600 years after Jesus died. So that's a long time after the Jews were already there. I'm just saying. I feel bad, obviously, for the women and children of Palestine, but I'm just saying the truth. Okay, so my bad. They said, oh, Graham Plattner didn't have the swastika on his chest. He had the Nazi SS bolts with the Nazi death skull. Okay, my bad.
Oh
Yeah, my
my.
bad.
Yeah, that may.
Oopsie.
Yeah,
Oopsie.
you're
Yeah, that's a
right.
lot better. Yeah,
His,
that makes it a lot better. You're right. My apologies. That
yeah,
makes it
he
a
didn't
lot better.
have just the swastika. He had the most extreme group of the Nazis tattooed on him. Like,
Yeah,
what
sorry,
the
my bad.
fuck? These people.
My bad.
No,
Oops.
you're good.
No, I'm talking to them. I'm just trolling with
These
them in the
comments are
chat.
crazy.
Look at the old maps from the 1600s Palestine. In the 1600s, it was I think it was under the Ottoman Empire. It might have been a state or a
100%
nation.
correct.
It was under a state, I think, under the Ottoman Empire. So yeah, it probably is on a map.
Yep.
What's your point, the person in the comment section? Even if Gaza's borders were opened, its people would not leave their land. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. But I don't think it's a genocide
100%.
because they're not trying to unalive as much people as they can. They literally, if they didn't drop those flyers and they didn't leave those text messages and put those sirens out there, there's over 1 million people that evacuated. So they saved 1 million lives. They weren't trying to unalive everybody and take everyone's lives. They evacuated over 1 million people because they were trying to save lives. 70,000 people died. A lot of them were civilians, but at the end of the day, of course, there's going to be a civilian casualty. But it doesn't mean it's right, but I'm not saying it's wrong either. Oh, Sean Phillips says I'm a bigot. Oh, sorry, Mr. Sean Phillips. Did I hurt your feelings by telling the truth?
Yeah. Uh, Sean, how about you try having a logical political debate with somebody else?
No, he doesn't
Like, I
want
don't
to.
get this. And this is for like some viewers. Like, why have we lost the ability to have a logical debate and not hold emotions with it?
That's kind of a
It's
crazy
just,
comment right there. This guy said he would die for Israel if that's what God wants. That's kind of a crazy comment.
there's absolute bad shit. Graham
Oh,
is the
well,
man. You were right.
you're welcome. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Oh, here we go. This guy's calling Jewish people a name. No, they're not. They are literally. You're arguing for a genocide. No, I'm not. I would love for the war to stop.
Yeah, I don't
Why
think
would I?
anybody's arguing for genocide here.
I'm literally just telling you what's happening.
Despite,
I'm not arguing for anything. Are you transgender? No, but do you think that transgender woman a real woman and they can go in the women's restrooms?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
You don't know?
No, I said hell no.
Okay, I was gonna say. Okay.
Yeah, no. I definitely don't believe that. I think if you're transgender, you know, that's cool. You do you. But we can't sit here and act like it's a normal thing or it should be normalized.
Yeah, I don't know about that. This Democrat is normal. You earned my respect. He's still not a Democrat, dude. He's still not a
Damn.
Democrat. I don't know.
I don't
I
even
would
know
not
what to
call
say to that.
Palestinians the bravest and noblest of people. If they were so brave and so noble, then why doesn't Egypt and all the other Middle Eastern countries accept them in? Why are they rejecting their own people?
Yeah, if Palestinians were the noblest of people, don't you think there wouldn't be a African migrant crisis in the majority of European countries? Don't you think they would settle in a country more agreeable to their culture that also worships their religion predominantly? If they're so noble, how come they just let millions of people pass through their country and did nothing about it?
I was about to take back my comment, LFMAO. What are you talking about now, Aaron? They're not the Philistines, brother. The Philistines were Greek. They were from the island of
Yeah,
Cyprus.
Phyllis.
The Philistines.
That's good knowledge, bro. That's good knowledge.
The Philistines were came way before Jesus was around, and the Palestinians came way after Jesus died. So that's a big gap difference. That might be like a 1500-year
Nobody here,
difference, actually.
yeah. Nobody here believes Trump is God. I don't know what you're talking about.
You sure about that? You sure I don't believe Trump is God? No, I'm just joking. Everyone, pull out your Trump Bibles and kiss your photos of Donald Trump. This guy, Greg. Palestine is not in the Bible. Philistine is in the Bible. Not even in the Quran is Palestine mentioned. Could Donald Trump support Argentina's claim to reclaim the Malvinas Island? I have no clue what that is, but Argentina, if there was an Argentinian island and Argentina could own it, that would be awesome. I would be up for that. I would support that. As long as, we're not genociding people. Why are millions of Palestinians in their neighboring countries not allowed to return to their homeland? I know, right? Egypt should let them come back. Egypt should let to Egypt. That would be awesome. I would feel a lot of love for them. Didn't Trump say something racist and controversial according to you every day? Jews don't come from Egypt. Nice try, though. Egypt can be nice. I would go to Egypt. I probably wouldn't say Egypt is the nicest place on earth, but I would go there. Okay, just because Moses lived most of his life in Egypt, does that mean that that's where Israelis came from? No, that's not where they came from.
You're gross dono.
What does that even mean? You gross Dono. Who's Dono? I think I seen someone. Oh, there is someone in the chat named Dono. Trump is king? Is that really what you think, Aaron? Let's see, what else are they saying in chat? Yeah, the Jews were enslaved in Egypt. You guys are bringing up a lot of random historical facts about Jesus and the Jews. None of it really makes sense.
I'm not gonna lie, your comments are running rampant.
Well, first off,
The
the
Jews
guests
were
like to read
Europe, bro.
comments. And we like to read some of your comments. They said, "Oh, why do you always get guests on and then read the comments?" Well, because they like to read the comments, I like to read the comments. We'll talk for a while
100%.
when we
And
see a good topic sometimes. Sometimes we'll pop up.
100%. We never would have been on this stage right now. I wasn't in the comments.
What about what about the black Israelites? Do you guys believe in those?
Man.
I don't believe in the black
Man.
Israelites. I'm sorry, they're gonna get mad at me and say, "Oh, they're real." Let me know, chat. What do you guys think? Yes or no? Were black Israelites real? What do you think about
Yo, brother, I
ICE? Do you
feel like
think
my bad. Go ahead.
ICE is doing a pretty good job?
Who, me personally?
Yeah.
Um, yes and no.
Why no?
I disagree with some of the cases they handled where they're taking women and children and putting them in detention centers. Like I don't think it's good for a child to be separated from their parents and be under the control of the government. But at the same time, what they're doing is necessary because there are people who are here not legally. You gotta answer for your crimes. I don't know. It's kind of 50-50 for me.
So what about the thing that Trump passed that says families can get deported together?
That I'm all for. 100%. I think it's disrespectful to all the immigrants who immigrate here legally. And at least, you know, maybe my perspective's a little different. I live in New York, so we were a sanctuary city. So the southern states were shipping illegals here by the thousands, and our government decided to pay for their, I guess, well-being, right? Like we were putting them in Hilton hotels for 6 months. They're getting monetary assistance whenever they need it. I find that hard. I would rather see it go to Anisha on the block with 4 kids than fucking Juan who came here illegally to sell blow. You know what I mean? I think we should prioritize own people first before anybody else.
So you think that was a horrible thing New York City did with the letting them stay at 5-star hotels.
100%. 100%. And I think a lot of people don't think about the deeper aspect of this. You're pushing for the social assistance for these people. Yeah, but at least personally, I feel like the majority of these people who push these issues aren't going to be impacted by them. At the end of the day, if you're an illegal immigrant with no ID and don't have a job, you're going to be in the hood. The last thing a fucking impoverished community needs is thousands of more people living there that aren't going to support it. That only hurts people. It doesn't help them.
So you think it's just hurting the neighborhoods worse and worse with the more illegals? What about people that can't? What about people that are just poor and they
I
can
think so,
barely
yeah.
afford to come here? Should they be able to come here?
It depends how you're getting here. As long as you're doing it via the legal route, I have no issue with that. If you're coming here illegally and you're not paying your taxes and you're benefiting from the taxpayer dollar, and that's what I disagree with. I think you have to pay into the system to benefit from it. I don't respect people who don't pay into the system and try to benefit from it.
Single dollar until they've paid taxes for like 15 or 20 years, bare minimum.
100%. You know,
Or
it,
you never let them collect any benefits since they came here.
you would think you would have to contribute to a benefit system to receive the perks of that system, but it's just not the case anymore. And that's what I vehemently disagree with. When I caught my felony case and I lost my job and I lost my girlfriend and I lost my living situation and I was on the streets, there was nobody providing for myself except me and my own hard work. I find it hard to look at other people who do nothing, don't work on themselves, and don't have a good work ethic benefiting from me.
Yeah, that's disgusting to think about other people benefiting off you when they didn't help you get there in the first place, and neither did the government. If
Right.
anything, the
You
government
know
just
that
got in your way, but they want to take your money and give it to other people that are not even working half as hard as you or me or anyone else
right,
out there. It's
fucking,
horrible.
me and you, any other tax-paying American who has a job, which, you know, when you're applying for a job, you have to show an ID, which and usually you have to apply or show them an employee ID number, which shows the fact that you're registered in like our government's database, that you're paying taxes to the IRS and whatnot. That is like the first thing that happens the first time you get a job. So I was paying into the system since I was fucking 16 years old. If you're an illegal immigrant and don't have a government ID, that means you're not able to be on the legal paperwork for the IRS to take fucking 30% of your paycheck every week,
Yeah,
which
these
means you're
people in the
not
chat
paying
are
fucking
lying like
taxes.
crazy. These people in chats are saying illegal alien immigrants don't get any benefits. They don't get any benefits, but they pay $100 billion a year. They pay $98 billion a year in taxes, but they steal $451 billion a year in taxes. If an illegal alien immigrant has a child that goes to school in our country, rather they were born here or not, they're going to cost us $18,000 a year on the taxpayer to go to the public school system per child. And a lot of illegal alien immigrants have 2 or 3 children. That's $18,000 times 2 or 3. And that's just what they cost on the school system. And a lot of them get welfare and other programs through their children that were born here. And also, if you're just a full blown illegal alien immigrant, states like New York, Colorado, and California offer full coverage insurance through the state for healthcare for free. So they can get full coverage healthcare through the state health insurance. But the veterans and the people that have been working or that are trying to get back on their feet, they just get screwed over. And y'all are completely fine with that. And sit here and lie to us and say they don't get any benefits. Yes, they get benefits. You think we're just
They
lying because
most
we like
definitely
to
do.
lie? We don't like brown people? Is that what you're trying to say? It has nothing to do with skin color or race. We aren't here because we want to talk about it.
Goddamn
Yeah,
right.
he's brown. We're not here because we want to talk about it. We're here because we're sick of this shit. Like, we're not just trying to talk about it because we want to talk about it. We're talking about it because it happens. And we're not just going to let y'all ignore it and say it doesn't happen. We know exactly where our taxpayer dollars are going. Most of them are going to people that don't deserve the money because they're on food stamps and they refuse to get a job, or they're trying to pretend like they're getting a job. So they mooch off all their loved ones, their family, and the government at the same damn time. Or the other people that are just like doing Somali fraud, where they're lying, saying that they're doing a business, they're getting small business loans and doing all kinds of fraudulent stuff like that. So there's a bunch of ways that these welfare babies are stealing our government money.
And don't get me wrong, you know, a part of me believes that these systems have to be there for people who are genuinely in need. However, at the same time, I feel like we've enabled fraud on a different scale with every single one of these programs we're offering. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
agree.
It's a tough one, man. Like I'd like to think that we have some shit out there available for, our homeless vets if they need help. Definitely shouldn't be going to our fucking illegal immigrants who are crossing the border illegally. And maybe y'all ain't aware, but I implore people in the comments to look up New York State's stance with financial assistance towards these illegal immigrants. We're putting them in hotels for months, giving them food stamps and benefits, giving them free health care, while I have to pay $189 a fucking week for a MVP silver healthcare plan. You know, it don't make sense.
Yeah, someone in the comments said corporations are the biggest welfare queens. Well, you have no clue about subsidies from corporations. They're all just tax incentives. Corporations don't get any welfare. All they get is tax incentives. And corporations already pay tax on the money that they make. They pay income tax, then they pay payroll tax, then they pay tax when they pay the CEO or they pay themselves. Then they pay tax when they spend that money when they buy stuff. They're already paying plenty of tax. They're already paying plenty of
And
tax. So
paying
we
the
don't need.
government to cover for workers' compensation insurance. Like, come on, people.
Yeah, they're already paying insurance out the ass. So they already have a million things that they're paying. Someone says blue states steal billions every day. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, he's actually wrong because there's no such thing as a blue state. There's only blue counties.
Oh, good point. But California almost won. Now they're stealing the election. How is the USA collapsing? Is your life collapsing, Jamal? Are you facing life in prison, Jamal? Like what? Why? Why do you say everything is collapsing? Why do you say the country is collapsing? What's wrong?
How are, man, how are brown people being alienated? What is this guy talking about?
What do you think
Yo,
about
I
brown
hate to
people
break it to you,
screaming
whoever said.
that? Good. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. Gonna say like to this guy saying, what do you say? Brown people being oppressed or some bullshit like that. Like, bro, I hate to break it to you. We're in the ever. It is the greatest time to be brown or black man in America, bro. At the end of the day, like a majority of the shit that even came out my mouth, I feel confident in saying because of my skin color. Because I know I'm not going to get harassed or persecuted for saying these things like I would if I was a white man.
Good point.
And that's facts.
Oh, they're saying, "Wow, bullshit." What? Yeah, he's telling you all the truth. Black
It is the
people,
truth,
brown people
bro.
can say certain things that but that white people can't say. That's if a white man says something about someone's skin color or ethnicity or anything like that on a professional work premise, you could possibly get fired by one of the higher ups. They'll say this guy is being discriminatory or he's being racist, and all you'll be doing is describing someone. You'll be like the black guy over there, or you'll say the Chinese guy over there. There could be something small like that. It could be some. I'm not even saying that's the perfect example, but it could be something very minute like that, and you could get labeled a racist. But according to many black
100%.
people out there,
And
black people can't be racist, which is crazy. I think anyone can be racist.
that is
And some of
crazy.
the most racist people I ever
100%.
seen before were black men.
That is facts. Me too. And that's like a shitty thing is, at least in my opinion, the victim mentality nowadays. It's, you know, uh, for example, one person in the comments said white people have been protected like throughout all time or some bullshit, what they say. But it's like that's not even the case, bro. White people were enslaved just as much as blacks. We at the end of the day, the only reason why there are black slaves is because we rallied up and captured our own people and sold them for profit. At the end of the day, slaves weren't one color. It was all colors of people who were slaves. The Koreans had the longest unbroken chain of slavery in human history, lasting over 1,300 fucking years. You don't hear a bunch of Koreans bitching about, oh, my fucking great 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 grandfather might have been a slave or not. Give me reparations or give me this victim mentality treatment or treat me special because of what I look like.
No one's advocating for any slavery, so get that out of your head.
And whoever said that, you're bugging and probably aren't a good listener. You know, for all my fellow minorities out there who think shit's bad for us, the country right now, we had a black president second strongest person in the country. Last presidency was a black woman. We run the art game. We run the well, we set trends in the clothing industry. There's nothing we can't do that anybody else can. Am I a minority? I don't know. I'll leave that one up to you, bud. I'll tell you this. Name one other minority union iron worker you know.
Oh, here we go. Paul says black people can't be racist. Someone said we never had a black president. And then someone said they're literally taking away black political power in the South. You mean they're not allowing us to gerrymander and redistrict based on skin color? Isn't that illegal to do that? Isn't that racist? Districting based on skin color? Isn't that like a bad thing? Oh, here we go. More people saying black people can't be racist. Y'all are
Man,
crazy.
I hate to read that shit. I hate to read that shit. Like, come on, y'all. What are we talking about? Like, let's be real for a second. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, Joseph Montana. What you mean black people can't be racist? Go on now.
Gams, what's your ethnicity? I'm gonna let y'all. My name's Graham, but I'm gonna let y'all guess that. I'm gonna let y'all figure that out yourself. I told you guys this before. If anyone can guess this, I'll tell you. I'm sure you guys will be able to guess. Oh, here we go. He's calling you boy. I mean, a lot of people would consider that in a racist way,
Oh shit!
especially in the South.
Damn fact. That black people can't be racist. You heard me, boy, bro. Oh man, I ain't even gonna take that serious, Joe. I feel like you're either trolling or you're just playing dumb, bro.
Did you vote? You
You
voted for
support
Trump, right?
racism, boy.
You voted for Trump.
Me, I couldn't vote and I couldn't vote in the last two elections.
Oh yeah. But you would have voted for Kamala for
Yeah.
sure, right? You can identify with her. You vote based on skin color, right? You only vote
Well,
based
you know,
off of black.
as Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black.
You must have voted for him. Must have.
Nah, I'm playing. Um, I don't know what I would have voted, to be honest. I think I would have voted Trump based off of his messaging during his political campaign.
Oh wow, he's not even a Democrat. I don't know why you would say he's more white than Kamala.
Scamala is funny. It's not funny. You know what's funny about that is she locked up thousands of fucking black men for small marijuana offenses as a district attorney in California.
You did a great job, right? I'm just joking.
Doing a great job destroying the black family just as designed.
Someone says, "Quit calling
That was
racism
her
patriotism.
job.
Quit causing patriotism.
Uh,
Quit calling patriotism racism."
Quit calling
Oh,
racism patriotism. I'm
oh, Neo,
oh man. Like
Neo, does your
we're
man
both
John?
American here.
Neo? Approximately 2,000 inmates who had their Bradley rights invalidated. Kamala laughed it off to a Wapu reporter, saying it was just 2 dozen.
Yeah. But she was just doing her job, Joseph, right? Like at the end of the day, when you're in a position like that, there's this thing you can exercise called discretion.
Discretion?
Yep.
Who's a hypocrite?
You I think he's talking to me. I don't know. Let's see. Come on, Joe.
Kamala is our next president. No, she's not, dude. Kamala's not our next president. Can we get to 100 likes? Subscribe. Obviously, black people can be racist. Some of them are the biggest racist in the country.
Or are we both hypocrites about what? Ukrainians can't call out Trump for being a racist. How's that making a hypocrite, though? Refusing to say something doesn't make me a hypocrite because it doesn't go against anything I previously stated.
Racism does not have any meaning anymore. It has no power. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. Someone drop some memberships. Let's force some of these Democrats to watch us for eternity by giving them memberships. Here we go with the insults again. Too dumb to debate and inbred. Did he freeze on me, y'all? Is he still there for me or no? Can we get to 100 likes, guys? If anyone wants to call in, you can drop $100 super chat. He froze. Damn. Let's get to 100 likes, chat. 100 likes. While we wait for them, drop some super chats if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk about. Massey couldn't even win his last election. $100 if anyone wants to call in. Come on the channel. What do you mean, what about concerns? He wasn't really a Trump supporter. Can we get to 100 likes, guys? 100 damn likes. We'll see if he ever comes back to stream. Just to upset the chatter. Fair enough. Thank you, Time, by the way. What did he say? Join back. Let's see. Can you join the link back? It's okay. Can you join the link back? Let's see if he joins proper.
Yeah.
Can I tell them your government? No, I'm just joking. Hold on, I don't think I can hear you. Hello?
Yo,
I can hear you now.
there we go. Sorry about that, brother. Thought my phone
You're
died.
good.
Like an
This is a
idiot.
stupid question. What are your thoughts on Trump being a homosexual? He's not a homosexual. Next.
Yeah, that's a fucking stupid question. Man has a badass fucking Eastern European wife.
Here we go. Do not say Trump is a
I
bisexual or you're going to lose your moderator status.
I consider any person I could have a logical debate with no emotions held is also a man, my brother. Yes.
Oh, here's some racism. White folks got a good way of switching around things to fit their narratives. What do you mean by that? Any examples? You asking me or you asking Trump? This guy says Trump. Who do you hate more, Islam or logic? I don't think we hate either one of those things.
Yeah, he must be asking Trump. Your
We're still
partner,
on stuff about talking about black people can't be racist.
black people can't be racist. Still on this bullshit, bro.
I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how many people believe it.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm surprised, man. It's it's a shot. It's shot at this point. And that's fucking sad. Like, we
Yeah,
gotta
these
work for
people
our
are
own, y'all. We really gotta work for our own. Let's stop taking handouts. Let's start bettering ourselves. Let's start bettering our work ethic. Start working for what we're worth.
agreed. These comments are crazy.
Yeah.
Make America great again. Sata Riley, I think that's how you say her name. We're still on the Trump homosexual stuff. Who cares?
It's that same Joseph guy. Yo, Joseph, please say something of substance or try to at least make a logical point supporting your viewpoints, whatever your beliefs may be.
Drop some super chat questions or comments for us. Y'all can ask us something good. Y'all can ask us something good. Ricky Bobby, if you're not first or last. They have Trump derangement syndrome. That's an interesting one, Christopher. We're gonna have to make a video for that.
Are you in a Yo, that's mad funny. Yo, Doug Forst. Have you ever heard of the Freemasons?
So,
Fun fact, I don't think you knew this. I was a third degree free and accepted Mason.
really?
Yep.
Did you come to try to? Are you coming to get me to try to join the Freemasons and leave the Jewish
Absolutely
tribe? No,
not.
I'm just kidding. I'm not Jewish.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know you're fucking out of it. Nah, that it's it's interesting just to hear people say you're in a fucking cult because of the hat you got on.
Would you think the Freemasons are a cult?
No, I wouldn't label it a cult. It's the oldest fraternity in existence, right? So like 13 signers of the Constitution, 26 signers of the Declaration of Independence were Freemasons. You know, the greatest presidents, in my opinion, in our history were Freemasons. You know, the Roosevelts who came from New York. Um, yeah, I what fascinated me the most, I guess, was just the history. Being able to go so in outside of Boston, Massachusetts, they have a Masonic library called the Lexington Library, and you can go there and you can bring up meeting minutes with these guys back in the 1700s talking about, you know, the revolution and their plans. I think that
What
shit's
about
cool as
the
fuck.
What about the Church of Scientology?
Oh, fuck that. Fuck
Come
that.
on,
That's a cult.
don't you want to join?
You know,
We
I'll join just
spiritual
to do
leader,
one of
right?
those crazy videos of these people running through their fucking buildings.
We can get our spiritual meter right.
The shit they believe in is just so fucking crazy. And the fact that people dish out thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to this place is just mind blowing.
Chad is talking about how Scientology is a cult.
Yeah, believe that. Oh, sorry. Apologize about my language. How kids start paying their own bills and have their own families, they become conservatives.
What'd you say? I didn't even hear you.
I said, fuck. Well,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know why I
fine.
just said it.
No,
Jesus.
you're good. I thought you said something way worse. I was like, oh.
No, no. I'm a reformed man. I'm a reformed man. So when college kids start paying their own bills and have their own families, they become conservatives. Wouldn't you say it's because they're paying their own bills and starting their own families so they know what the dollar is worth to them? And Joseph Montana, you obviously have not been here wrong. Don't support Trump.
But you would vote for him in 2028.
Yeah, I probably would. Oh shit, I guess that does mean I support him.
Oh,
I
fuck.
don't know. Oh, fuck. I mean, it's, you know, the lesser of two evils, right? It- like
So,
Hillary Clinton versus
okay.
Trump. You know, would we rather have Donald Trump in our presidency or Hillary Clinton? You
They
know what I
say
mean?
talk quicker, you're losing me. What do you want us to talk quickly about? How dumb of a comment that was? Trump, Hillary Clinton, Trump card. I wouldn't vote for either of them. Well, that wasn't an option. I said he has to vote. Hilarious Clinton. Yeah, the Clintons are definitely protected by the Democrats in power and the court system for sure, in my opinion. Like if that was anyone else that didn't show up for a deposition, they would have been in prison. If that was me or you, we would have both been in prison. But the
Hundred
Clintons
percent.
were deposition for like 6 months, even after they were ordered by court. And the judge didn't even arrest them instantly. They literally went to like Congress or something, and they were about to vote if they were going to arrest them. What kind of fucking bullshit is that?
The fucking rich make the rules in our legal system, unfortunately. And like those people are so embedded.
So it's
We talk about oh
Epstein.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I didn't know you were still going. Go ahead. I'm
People
done.
talk about Ilhan Omar and Nancy Pelosi with their stock earnings while they were in a political position in this country. Just look at the Clintons. The entire fact that they can make a Clinton foundation.
Oh, the Clinton Foundation is worth like $1 billion alone.
Must be nice with $120,000 yearly salary. Must be nice. Wish it was me.
They literally do nothing. They're what a worker for their own company.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, bro?
What they're making like 12K a month for their own company.
Right. Not to mention the holdings they have in the market.
They're making 4K a week plus like 80K a week with the stock trading bullshit.
It's a good time to be a politician, I tell you.
Probably way more than that.
And that's the end of the day, that's what we know about flow state. Okay.
Type stuff. Like Kamala Harris, AOC followed in her footsteps.
You know what? I gotta think of a new career choice. I might fucking run for congressman at this point. Start up a couple daycares,
I don't know. You
get a
live in
couple of
a up
restaurants.
area. You have a lot of competition.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
You have a lot of competition over there.
Some people just look and sound not smart slash educated. That's you all the way.
So you're on the side of terrorists. That's what this guy says, basically.
Be a weird side to be on. Gonna be me. So, where is it?
U.S. people are
Somebody.
slaves to Israel. Are you a slave to Israel?
Yeah, last time I checked, I don't have no Star of David hanging in my room.
But you're a slave to Israel. You pay taxes so it can get sent to Israel.
I pay taxes so the shit could get sent to transgender research in Guatemala. I
You love that. That's your favorite one.
imagine that was a real take. Like, y'all acting like I got control over where my taxes go. I don't. I pay my 30% every week. The difference is I pay my fucking taxes. work my dick off paying them taxes.
Elon Musk told the UK protesters that he's turning all dystopian, and the working class protesters really liked it. I don't give a fuck about Elon Musk. If he wants some socialist bullshit, I'm gonna tell him to fuck off. I don't care if Donald Trump says he wants some socialist universal welfare thing. I'm gonna tell him to fuck off too. I don't want any universal income. I don't want to make the same amount as money as you, and I don't want to work the same hours as you. I want to work more hours than you. So why would I want to be? Why would I want the same house, the same outfit, the same paycheck, the same hourly wage? Hell no.
Neo, I live in New York. I pay probably one of the most highest tax rates in this nation. I don't know what you're on about. But I work 80 to 100 hours a week, right? So you should know more than anybody how much your dollar's worth. And you should know more than anybody that the only person who's going to support yourself is you. So why is it that our government is making it an obligation that we have to pay for people who don't want to work and don't put their fair share into this economy?
I don't know. Because you should be paying for them because they deserve to live off of you. They have a right for shelter and food. So you should pay for it. Come on, everyone has the right to basic food and shelter. Don't you think that people working at McDonald's should get a livable wage? That means we gotta pay everyone in New York City that works at McDonald's at least 5 to 6K a month for working a 30 to 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I think we're at like $17 for minimum wage right now
Yeah, would
for
y'all be willing
flipping
to pay a
fucking
McDonald's
burgers.
employee? Would you be willing to
Yeah,
pay about $30, $35 an hour, like $60,000 a year or something like that to work there?
yeah, hell no.
Come on, he
Hell
flips
no.
burgers. He deserves a
He
livable
flips
wage.
burgers. He deserves to have a house
He
and
deserves a
live on a
livable
one
wage.
family
That's
income and
yeah. That's what they're gonna tell you. I've heard those arguments before. One guy told me that a McDonald's worker in New York City should make $75,000 a year because that's what he thinks is an appropriate, good, livable income in New York City and Manhattan.
well, don't get me wrong. $75,000 is probably like the lower end of what you're gonna need to live in Manhattan. But on the flip side, I think we need to value what skilled labor we're paying for, right? Like we shouldn't be paying burger flippers $20 an hour because they feel like it needs to be a career that's going to last them a lifetime because they have no personal drive or motive to do better for themselves.
But
You
just
know,
because they don't
like
have motive, don't they deserve to live? Don't they deserve an apartment too, and a house or something, and a couple vacations?
one thing I like to say is that is the most genius scheme the banks ever pulled on Americans was convincing Americans that everybody deserves a home to live in that they own.
Why do you think that?
Because it's just not economically feasible at all. You know, Like, don't get me wrong, if you put in the work and you could provide for yourself and buy yourself a home, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't afford it, you shouldn't purchase it.
But do you think anyone that wants a home can get it if they work hard enough?
Eventually, yes.
They don't think this is a debate because we're not yelling at each other. They keep saying, "Oh, is this even a debate? Is this even a debate?" Yeah, this is what a civilized debate looks like. I know you're not used to
Yeah, I hate
seeing
to
it. You're used to watching people scream and spit on each other, but yeah, this is what a regular debate looks like.
yeah, I hate to break it to you guys. Sorry, you know? We're just people who can have logical debates without emotions getting involved, and
What about people being a millionaire, like when they're 40 or 50 or 60? Do you think that's possible for everybody that wants to, or no? If they work hard enough, I mean, obviously not just given to them.
yeah, I that was what I was gonna say. I think there's a difference between everybody who wants to and everybody who would be able to. 'Cause at the end of the day, it has to do with the work you're willing to put in. If you're
Yeah,
going to
everyone says they want to be a millionaire, but nobody's willing to work, 19 hours a day with zero free time or even time to think to yourself of anything really. But everyone says they want to be a millionaire, but they don't want to put in those 18, 19-hour days.
right, and go through the motions and be, invested into your work ethic. If flipping was that? If flipping burgers is all you can get for a job, then I don't know what to tell you. I think there are much more easily developed skill sets that you can acquire. And if we're talking about as a man perspective, I will tell you right now, as a person who's a blue collar worker, an iron worker in New York, not met a single construction company here in this country that says, "Hey, we got too many guys. We don't need any more help."
But the union has really good retirement plan. Are you planning to stay with them to get that retirement plan that they have? That's really good.
100%.
Hell yeah. Let's see what they're saying. I think that's a lie. I think if you buy a house now or buy stocks now or buy anything, when you're in your mid 20s or 30s, if you buy in and hold for 15, 20 years, that you can do it. Someone said union is a scam. What do you think about that?
I think they are a misinformed individual, and I would
I think
ask
they are too.
them how it's a scam. Like, how could it possibly be a scam? At the end of the day, if you're looking for a state or federal contract for any infrastructure done here in New York, I'm talking about bridges and steel buildings. It's done through a union.
There's like no unions down where I live at though, in Florida.
No, there is. Believe
There's
me,
a
they're
couple, but
there.
they don't run like the ones in New York.
Yeah, but it's I guess like a geological difference. Like the infrastructure here is just so much more dense. We just have so much more work. You know what I mean? Like
There's other
just right
reason
now.
they're not. There's another reason why they're not popular. I forget. I think it's a lot of lobbying and stuff against against them down here. I don't remember off the top of my head. I mean, if you
Just
work hard at
working hard is
McDonald's,
not enough. I'm not saying that just working hard is going to make you a millionaire. I'm saying you need the work ethic to make yourself a millionaire.
yeah, neither of us said that. Yeah, but nothing is possible without hard work unless you just get lucky. So that's where it starts from.
Right. 99.9% of successful businesses were not built off the backs of people who are not working hard. What
Two
makes me an
idiots.
idiot, C-Bones?
Yeah, where?
Right tell.
If you want us to have a more meaningful conversation, why don't you add something more meaningful to it? They should call you T. They should call you uh I don't know bonehead. I guess they should call you bonehead, not C bone. They should just call you bonehead. That'd be a better name for you. At least I think so. Can we get to
Definitely agree.
100
I mean,
likes though? We're almost there. What'd you say? Sorry.
no, you good. Run that shit up to 100 likes, guys. 3 more. Come on. My favorite trans YouTuber. Be
Yeah, I
proud,
heard that
yo.
person come on here 100 times over again. What do you mean called Trump King? You ever heard a Republican called Trump King? You ever heard of him?
No, never heard of who's Trump? Who are you talking about? Never heard of that guy.
Think Trump is God. You think Trump
I
is
still like
Jesus?
conservatives, but there's more to it than working hard. That's factual. Yes, there is more to it, but you're acting like working hard is not a part of it. Would we rather see people become millionaires not working hard, not having a good work ethic? People work hard their entire lives and don't get ahead. Yes, majority of the time that's because of their own decisions they made in life. You guys should kiss. That's a weird homosexual fantasy you have.
They say
I'll
that
keep it to
kind of gay
yourself in the
shit all
future.
kinds of stuff all the time. Hey, what's up, Dr. Dons? What are you talking about? Or their parents' decision? No, I don't like anything with other men. Let's stop with that weird shit. You should get timed out by one of the moderators.
The exploited the exploited kids forced to find diamonds work all day with nothing but torture in return. Yeah, 100%. You're right. There's people who are going to be exploited on this planet. 100% right, bud. That doesn't disprove my point. In order to be successful and to be a wealthy individual in America, you need hard work.
They're gonna tell you that's a lie. Hard work does nothing because they're socialists. That's what they believe.
Yeah. So sad to see.
Why do you think so many people
So
in New
sad
York
to see.
City are socialists?
Well, you know what? Had a hard time answering that question for a while, and then kind of came to the realization it's because why wouldn't you? If your lifestyle is being paid for by the government and you don't have to put anything in return, why would you be a contributing member of society? If I could go unemployed in New York and get $879 a week, why would I work?
Yeah, good point. They all
Yeah,
love
the
this
guy who
area.
does nothing but sit on his ass knows anything about hard work. Hey, Katie, I'm a union iron worker in Local 12 in New York. Look me up.
They all love to make the same excuse and say, well, the only people that are wealthy are people that have rich families. Well, most millionaires are self made. Most millionaires and billionaires are self made. Can we get
You
you a
need more
100
than a
plus likes,
thousand
guys?
dollars in certain cities. What city are you living in where you need to spend more than $1,000 a week on your expenses?
Los Angeles? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Born with generational wealth that was built up over time. No, majority of these super wealthy companies established because they get loans from the bank. Has nothing to do with generational wealth.
No one
Because
said
think
don't
about
be
this:
poor.
if you were a generationally wealthy person, would you rather A, spend your own money, or B, spend somebody else's money to create a business for yourself? You're gonna spend somebody else's money, which means you get a loan from the bank, which is a majority of what 99% of businesses do.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means right, but these billionaires are getting all this money from investment equity groups because they have something to offer that's important that they could do business with, which means most likely they worked hard to get to that position.
A lot of copium in chat. A lot of
Pieces of
copium.
shit. Yeah, a lot of copium.
Okay, who cares about Trump's children? Does that make you jealous that other people's children are born rich
Hey,
and
we
your
had
children
101
are?
likes. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
I'm sorry, I'm Canadian and left wing. I just don't get it. Yeah, that sounds like a mental
Hey,
illness. How the hell are you Canadian?
Christopher Wells, let's look at the three richest people on the planet. Where'd they get their wealth? From their family or off the businesses they started?
Yeah, the copium in chat is crazy. Universal income is a terrible idea. I don't care what you say, bozo.
So, Jack, your point is by paying everybody in the United States money, which comes from our taxes off the people who actually work, is going to be used to pay for everybody else, and there's only a 2%
Of
reduction in
course.
employment. So let me get this straight. The average taxpayer is obligated to pay more money for this universal basic income program that's going to create a reduction in the workforce. Why in the fuck would that be a good idea?
No, most millionaires are not
Christopher
groomed into
Wells.
it
Let's
and do
see.
not
Top
handle
three richest
it.
people I could think of. Uh, Bill Gates. Last time I checked, Bill Gates did not grow Microsoft into a multi-billion-dollar company because of his parents' wealth. Last time I checked, Elon Musk didn't create SpaceX, Tesla into multi-billion-dollar companies because of his parents' wealth. It's because of the products they're offering. You don't create these products without hard work involved. You don't create software that is run by our entire government by sitting there being a lazy piece of shit and not doing your part and working hard. You don't create relandable rockets that can be shot into space and landed back on Earth on the same landing platform they were launched from without hard work involved.
Agreed. 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 No, but what do you think about Elon becoming a trillionaire? Do you think he doesn't deserve it?
I don't think anybody deserves any type of wealth or poorness. I think he earned it. You know, uh, I would say if there's 8 billion on people on this planet, and there's only one man who could grow that company into what it is. No, I think that makes it
No.
pretty important.
Does anyone earn $1 trillion? Absolutely. Elon's not a thief. You gave him his money.
And it's not like he has $1 trillion. His companies that he own, well, the shares of the companies that he own is valuated at over $1 trillion.
Yeah, no, they don't even. That's his net worth. That's everything. He doesn't have $1 trillion in his bank account.
Right. Like he can't go to the bank and pull out a billion. You know what I mean? That's not how this shit works. The reason why these ultra wealthy individuals get even more wealthy is because they don't take their pay like a normal salary, right? They take their pay in stock options. The stock options are what drive up their net worth.
Yep.
Not to mention, you don't pay taxes for holding stocks. You hold the shit for at least over 2.5 years. So you can pay 15% instead of 35% on short or long holding tax.
Yeah. Someone says you only get rich from by taking from others. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I agree and I disagree. I agree because there's only a certain amount of wealth to go around.
But no one's
I
taking their money.
disagree.
You're giving Elon Musk your money.
Right. Right. He's not strong arming anybody and forcing people to take their money. The reason why he's so rich is because there's other people who control large amounts of wealth who are choosing to invest into these companies because they see a potential of future profits that they can make based off their investment.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, someone said you can't be a billionaire and be a good human. Yeah, they're full of shit. It's called exploitation. No, it's not. You can't be exploited if you're choosing to work there. What the fuck are you talking about? How is anyone being exploited if you choose to work there? I'm just genuinely wondering. Elon was one of the co-founders of PayPal. Yep. Why does it matter if corporations care about us? Are they supposed to care about us? Are corporations supposed to care about the people and take care of the people? Last time I checked, that wasn't their job. But how should I
Last
know?
I checked, every single man in this country has worked for a company or corporation that pays for their lifestyle and the support of their family.
Yeah,
I would
for
say that's a
sure.
lot more than anybody else has provided for me here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. What are they saying? If y'all have any good questions or comments, drop some super chats.
Honestly, I'm looking for somebody to make a good topic that we can debate on. Y'all are just spouting emotional bullshit.
$8,000 for a sports ticket game? What are you talking about? The UFC on the White House? Or what are we specifically talking about here? What are we specifically talking about? I'm just genuinely curious. $8,000 to see Vanilla Ice? Okay. I really don't care. Does that bother you? It's so much money. Does that bother you? Y'all can't go? I'm confused. Why do you care if it's $8,000 or not? Genuinely just wondering. We are all exploited regardless if we choose to? No, it's not true.
Yo, Jack, I scrolled up. I can't see the question you asked. So could you ask it again?
I'm all with you, down with the Islamic regime.
I'm not a slave to money, but money ain't everything. It's all about intrinsic happiness.
I'm not a slave to money. If I want to, I can go live in the wilderness. But I choose not to. I like civilized society. I like capitalism better. Happy Pride Month. It's Veterans Month. It's Veterans Month, y'all. Oh, now we got a bunch of gay
Whether,
people in chat saying Happy Pride Month to each other. Y'all really like butt stuff,
whether
don't you?
they're going crazy in that. Ghost Vision. I think one thing you're not thinking of is that nobody is entitled to anything on this planet at all. Nobody's entitled to anything, which means we're not entitled to any of this wealth that you're complaining about billionaires hoarding. I'll tell you what, if I created a multi-billion-dollar company and I earned all that money, I wouldn't want to give it away. I'd want to keep it and provide for my future generations.
You're really gonna
That doesn't
ask
make
why
me,
I'm entitled because you didn't earn it. That's why you're not entitled.
we're not entitled to anything on this planet, bud. We're not even entitled to live this life. Because if everybody was entitled to it, there'd be a whole lot more living people on this planet.
Oh, here we go. A bunch of liberal socialist crybabies. I can't with the rest of you guys in chat.
Basic human rights is not forcing people who work for a living to pay for the universal basic income of people who choose not to work.
They have basic human rights. You can't
That
force
is
them to pay for water and work.
that is the definition of entitlement.
You can't force them to
Like
work.
I
They
should be
deserve
able
to
to
live
sit
off
at
you if they
home
want to.
and
They should
get
live
an
off the
income
government if
for
they want
doing
to.
nothing because I'm not currently happy with my economic situation, but I'm going to do nothing to change it.
Islam is the enemy to Christianity. Well, let's get to 110 likes.
Hey, Ghost Vision, were you under the impression that life was supposed to be fair? Like seriously, we are living at the most peaceful time of our planet and the most successful, especially when you're talking about our economy. We've generated the most wealth than ever in human history in this country. Let's let's think about let's think about like between 1900 and 1950, right? 1910s, you have World War One. Right after World War One, you have the Spanish flu that wipes out 5% of the entire world's population. 1920 to late 30s, you have the Great Depression. Late 30s to 40s, you have World War Two, which killed up above 60 million people. Like, what are we doing here? And you're gonna complain about how it's not fair that people have more money than you?
It's not fair. I wish I could just have what they have
And
and just
that's
live
your
off their
argument?
money.
It's not fair that people have more money than you, so
Yep.
you feel like you're obligated to receive a universal basic income because you're not happy that people have more than you?
Yes, give me $100,000 a month universal income. Can we get the likes up, guys? Like,
Bro,
subscribe.
there are fucking people surviving on $4 a day in less developed countries, Chris.
110 likes, y'all. I'll give you guys 10 more minutes if you guys got any good questions, comments, anything you want to talk about. I'm live streaming for the love of the
Yes,
game.
Ghost Vision. And what I'm trying to say to you is that that is how the system worked for all of humanity. And actually, if you think about it, there's more millionaires and billionaires and wealthy people on this planet than the history of humanity.
I don't give a damn if billionaires or millionaires care about me, just like I don't care if Trump cares about me. Why does that matter? All I need them to do is their job and do a good job at their job. It benefits me in the end.
Neo, you could cry about it all you want. You know, I'm just going to debate you on it when you're coming into the comments sections bringing it up. First of all. Second of all, you think I got no bitches, you bugging.
What makes you think that I deserve a? Well, this guy asked me, why do I deserve 100K? Because if you give me 100K, we'll make the best YouTube channel ever. We'll buy a whole fucking podcast studio with multiple iPad screens. We'll have the volume controls and everything. We'll have everything on point. That's why. It's better than just sitting there collecting welfare or doing nothing with the money.
Well, Ghost Vision, that is true. But these countries benefit entirely from our military defense spending. The only reason why they can invest that money in themselves is because we're offering free protection at the price of $1.5 trillion dollars a year. Of course, they can make that investment.
No,
And you know
Stinson, not
what?
100K a year, 100K a month.
Personally, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to free healthcare. Not at all. I don't want to pay for
You are.
fat people to continue their style of living.
I'm not gonna pay for you to get cancer. No, thank you.
Yeah, let's do universal healthcare with in the country that has the biggest obesity crisis and the most healthcare issues out of anybody and has more fentanyl overdoses than any other country. Yeah, let's do that. I want to pay for that.
Nope. Oh no.
No, I'm not okay with taxpayer dollars going to Israel. And if you keyed in on to the debate earlier, you would know that. Bro, picking at his toes.
Who's picking out their toes? Nobody got their fucking. Who got their
Negations.
toes out, dude?
I got them
Who got
dogs
their
out.
toes out?
Do we charge taxes on living in your mom's basement?
I don't know. You'd have to
Uh,
ask your mom
what do
if you
you
charge
guys pay
taxes
taxes
on that.
on? I don't know, Monty Rattlesnake. I don't know what I pay taxes on because you're right. I live in my mom's basement. I do nothing for work and I just sit here and ask for universal basic income.
Hell yeah, man. What are you sipping on? Is that I seen that.
Yeah, that was me
No,
not thinking. My apologies.
no, you're good.
Painted
You think-
trailer walls. Hmm. So I made it out the basement into a trailer. Good for me.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Jack, I don't know if you're aware for this, but more social programs means the government requires more income to fund these programs, which means we get taxed more. Nobody's
Transmissions are
preventing
running
you
the
from
country.
becoming wealthy.
Transmissions are running the country. I saw one on the side of the road. Yeah, that's crazy. Transmissions
No
are running
house,
the
no
country.
apartment.
You're right. I'm just homeless. That's where I'm recording the video
Yeah.
from. The side of the road.
I made it from my mom's basement to the trailer park to homeless. I've been all over the place tonight, I guess. Let me show you something, Canvas.
Tax the drug dealers and the tents on the side of the
Yeah.
road. What are you gonna show?
Some of my swag, I guess. Yeah, I got this shit from building offshore wind turbines here in New York because I don't sit at home and do nothing like you.
What do you think about Trump canceling the wind turbines?
Low key, I got a mixed bag about that because offshore wind turbines aren't designed to last long. So I don't know. I like the idea of clean energy. I don't like the idea of the maintenance costs for offshore wind turbines.
Do you think those are stupid? You agree or disagree?
For offshore renewable energy, in terms of wind turbines, I agree they're stupid. So, like,
What do you
obviously,
think
it's a metal
about wearing hats
structure.
in your own home? I think you can wear whatever the fuck you want in your own home. That's what I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but someone asked
Cool.
a really stupid
No, you
question.
good. I'm just reading this guy's comments still. He's still pressing me for some reason. Bro,
It depends
cannabis.
on what renewable energy.
Right. I'm all for the geothermal, hydropower, nuclear. I think those are all great renewable energy programs that we should be running. Construction, tile, landscape, masonry, excavator, backhoe. Bro, you just named two tools like they're trades, first of all. Second of all, what are you saying? Construction, tile, landscaping, masonry, excavator, backhoe. Excavator, backhoe are parts of a fucking vehicle. Construction is what you're working in. Are you doing tile, landscaping, or masonry? Because if you're switching between three trades, that means you ain't shit.
I think I'm about to hop out of here in a minute, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Hey, it was good talking with you. I
Good
appreciate you,
talk.
man.
Definitely, man. It was a good debate, a good combo. Having multiple skill
Sure.
sets means you
Much
ain't
love as
shit.
well.
You ain't shit if you're switching from trade to trade. If you're really good, you're gonna stay with it, and you're gonna get, you know.
If you're in the trades, you would know how crazy it is to say you're going from doing tile work to landscaping and then masonry.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Peace out. Have a good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Peace out, brother.